This is a public health announcement. Cannabis cures cancer.
Activating meridians. Alignment. Instability in field. Negative. Charge aligning matrix field. Positive. Coordinates reached, Commander.
Activate the Sade field.
Activations of multidimensional engines.
Launch communications probe.
Power levels to maximum.
Activate all dimensional levels of communication.
Communication established.
The voice you hear is known as Bob. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached our destination. This is the last slave planet in the galaxy. Under all agreements, under all rights, under galactic law, we now proclaim this planet free. The descension of the true human consciousness has begun.
Energizing Shambhala diamonds.
The men, women, and children of this planet are now set free.
Grid fields activated.
You have already reached
Activate Shambhala diamond.
critical mass.
Integration onto microcosm. Expanding linear space.
Prepare for landing.
Free space activation. Landing. Caution. All crew members to station. This is the Starship Bob. We are landing.
Darkcity show. I'm Jabba tonight. Scott is. We are with Scott, Northcott from Q and Dark. Bob is also around. Don't worry, he went not sleep. He is around. And because we have the 4th of July today, we're gonna talk about independency. Before that, just a little explanation about what is Q and ARC. I would say a new independent idea of future sustainable solution for housing and living in general. What do you think, Scott?
I would say that's perfect, Jabba, for sure.
Can you explain it? Is there more to explain about it?
The acronym is quintessentially for you, quality for you, everything we do is for you, via architecture, responsibility, and kudos.
Sounds good.
Yeah, for sure. So one example last week, because I have something interesting to share with you, I'd been given the participation within a wind generating project, and then we heard lovely tones from George Osborne and cutbacks on frontline services on the Wednesday, and then on the Thursday the government had announced 100 billion infrastructure expenditure. What was interesting about that 100 billion infrastructure expenditure was 0.0015%, which is 15 million, was being contributed to generate green initiatives in rural locations. I think the 100 billion is going to create more of a problem in carbon emissions than the mere 15 million in rural locations will reduce. And not surprisingly, on Thursday afternoon it was announced that the UK is not going to meet its carbon targets. Surprise, surprise. And then on Thursday evening I was given a new piece of technology. It's a generator, it's clean, and it operates at 95% efficiency. It would not scar the landscape, ecology and environment to the extent that wind turbines would. And quite interestingly, last week there was a controversial story. A rare bird that hadn't been spotted for 10 years, almost a decade, was spotted last week, but unfortunately it was dead because it hit a wind turbine. So this new technology that's been presented to me, I'm very, very excited about. Because of its efficiency. I mean, most wind turbines only operate at 25 to 35% efficiency.
Yeah, it's a little bit like the solar panels also. It's not a long time we reached the point zero. That means that the solar panel itself, it produces enough energy that you reach the point zero. That means that what it needed to produce the solar panel itself. I had one of the first solar panel I had. In a half a year, it was reduced from maybe when it got out of the fabrication, you have already 90%, and then you plug it, and you have 80%, and half a year later you have only 20%, and it will never produce. My little one never produced as much energy than you put in it, and that is a lot of people who installed the solar panel 10 years ago. They never produced enough energy to cover what they needed to produce themselves.
Yeah. I mean, this technology is pretty disruptive. I mean, obviously, a conversation with Matt with his biofuel technology, because the generator is electricity based. So, I mean, at the end of the day, Matt's biofuel technology will still be required to power other things. But certainly from a domesticated situation or an industrial situation, this other technology will be sufficient for that, more than sufficient. So it's potentially a real game changer.
So what you are saying is that you are hopeful that with the present government we will see a change, a real change.
Well, we would hope that we would see a real change with Matt's technology in biofuel terms. We would hope that a clean energy source of generators would be welcomed with open arms, but you know, there's always a consequence from every action, and obviously the consequence of Matt's situation, it has a negative impact on the current carbon economy. This generator will have a negative impact on the electrical energy generation. Although there are far greater positives from an ecological and environmental point of view as well. So if certainly will create some interest with potential lobbyists to try and force either or situation through.
Yeah, the interest of the money is always like, if it gets interesting, but most of the good solutions, they don't really make money for the ones who like to make a lot of money of it. Therefore, I don't think that the lobbyist will jump on a solution, even if the solution is good. If he can't make profit out of it, he will not jump on it. No. No.
Well, I'm not entirely sure. Today, QU for ARC, let's claim Independence Day, for you, let's engineer a better world. I think people are now more, getting more actively involved.
Mm-hmm.
As I said to you, Jabba, my recent excursion down to London, the taking off from the airport to the flying back, I'd seen things with cloud formations that I've never seen in my life before. I've went from, we're on Thursday, and every day this week I've went from Wellington boots in the morning to thermal underwear and jumpers to changing to flip-flops and shorts in the afternoon. That's that's not normal,
Yeah.
It's the extreme and radical changes in weather conditions, and of course you go on the internet or you put on the news, and obviously you're getting all that from America with horrendous heat, humidity, and heat conditions there.
Yeah.
Without the odd posting from Jabba of the hailstone experiences that you've had there in Switzerland.
Yeah. Well, we had hailstones, we storms. We have that more like in the late summer. That is more the usual thing. I was lucky, all right, because with the same video, just some kilometers away from here, they had holes in the windows of the cars, big like golf balls, and they like all the cars. It's like 1,200 cars in the area destroyed because of hail. So even people just a little bit more far away from here, they had everything destroyed. So I cannot imagine here. The grass is just everything is down still today, and but it is more extreme, more local, and of course that is a phenomenon. I think is unusual. And a lot of, like you saw the movie of the weather modification, and in the movie he said there is 160 patents or the 190 patents of weather modification. I found 660 patents until 99 patents to somebody's typing.
It's me. Lee's asking some text questions.
Okay. 660 patents to change the weather. We was like not far from here. When the hail arrived, they was blowing up like cannons in the air to not that the hail not coming down on their what was it, apple plantation. So in America they put like they go with flights up just to modify their little weather before the storm is coming, and that is usual thing that people are making. Why not making in big scale? And if just to realize that 80% of all activities in the world are depend on weather. If you can modify this, can you imagine? And all the farmers who are planting stuff, if you can give them hail-proof corn to plant, they will do it. And that is like Monsanto, of course, they have the patent for hail-proof seeds, corn to plant. So that is like, of course, if they could make with all the power structure they have, they would make it, and they probably make it in big scale. I think that is definitely a fact, and that. But I would like to talk about this 4th of July and independency. I posted on my Facebook. United States citizens celebrating their freedom is like a 80 years old prostitute celebrating her virginity. I think that is a
We
little
don't
bit.
have to stick up a certification for that statement, Jabba. No.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite worrying, because obviously, we're talking about with this eco-modular flood-proof housing, and that's fundamentally addressing issues of an evidently changing environment. And then, with this generator and some of the other technologies that we're exploring, I'm kind of thinking, I'm just a guy connecting with inventors, professors, and scientists all over the world. And these guys are coming to me with some, pretty ingenious and radical ideas that should problems materialize or occur, they actually have the solutions to those problems. So, watching the news and with the conflicting messages that kind of were coming out last week, Neil Alexander was interviewing the energy minister, and, you give credit where it's due. Neil Alexander was being quite sort of forward and aggressive with the energy minister. And he said, hold on a second. There's articles coming out in the press that we may have to switch the lights off in 2015. And he's saying, the energy minister's saying, oh no, that contrary to that, that's not true. But yet we have sight of letters, governmental letters, going to various people within industry where they have to make their own contingent plans. Should we have to switch and divert the energy and the power to keep consumer lights on? And those letters apparently have already gone out to businesses. So I'm kind of looking at what we're doing and what we're trying to create, and with all the different multifaceted solutions that we've identified, we've got more immediate solutions that I'm even seeing that the government can achieve. So here's the thing, Jabba, yeah? I've kind of been, asked to assist with a wind generating project, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And let's assume hypothetically for this argument, I'm a politician. Within 4 days, I'm presented with a disruptive piece of technology that would eradicate the need for the vast expansion of those wind turbines.
Mm-hmm.
What do? Do I do the moral thing where I switch to the visionary and foresighted technology that will have minimum impact on our ecology and environment? It's more cost effective, it's more efficient, it makes every other piece of logical sense, or do I just run with the wind turbine project? And that's kind of, I think you know the answer to the question, yeah.
Mm.
But the fact that I'm not a politician and I do think I've got a moral high ground is that I've gone with the thing that I've identified will be the best value for everybody. Yes, it will have a negative impact on certain energy generating type companies, but, as I've always said in a quotation, innovation invariably only impacts those that control the market.
Mm. Yeah, my issue is always like what can what can government really, and what will government really do? Because the whole power structure is like you mentioned, is like based on
Yeah, I think that's a blur pink.
Hello.
There's a little interaction in the back, yeah.
Yeah.
Carry on.
How government will make it without the money they get from the from the lobby, and the way the lobbyists are working, and they're not really working for. I think there are still good people who are like real human.
Mm-hmm.
Is that sparking? I think so. All right. I think there are still really humans who want to go into politics to change a real thing, to make a real change. But they are always coming up with some guys who are just the last example in Europe. I'm watching a lot of the French news.
Mm-hmm.
The ecologic minister just got ejected because she complained that the budget of 2014 was not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Just because she criticized the government, and they ejected her because they say she's not friendly with the union party, and that is exactly the problem with politics. You go into politics to defend the party, never your ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Never. Even if you are president, you go defend the ones who bring you up to the position you are. That is always the case. So, so in this sense, I don't trust, and I don't think the politician will change anything. And that's why the interesting part of tonight is really the independency. Yeah, I mean, you took this day also, you ask to come on your radio. It's your radio. So, you come to your radio to talk about independency. Therefore, I cannot really talk about politicians, because the politicians are not independent anymore. So the most important thing is, what can we do? And I think that is the only thing we really can do. But the way we change the people around, we'll see what we change. And
yeah, I mean, it's interesting, Jabba, because this was an observation from one of my other friends, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And without mentioning any names specifically, I'm being courted by some people and lured by others, yeah? And in this process, I've been very active in the last month, and I've been on some interesting trips, and I've met some interesting people, and some further interesting people have come to me. But what I'm showing in this process is restraint, yeah? And it's the lack of restraint, whether it's political, financial, banking, or industrial, that's kind of got us into this mess. So my friend says to me, he said, you're like a guy a candidate running for presidency. And the observation that he's made, he said, will you fulfill your manifesto? And the fact is, I will fulfill my manifesto, because no matter who's courting me or luring me, okay, I walked away from certain situations that have occurred within the last month or so where, vast amounts of things were on offer because they didn't agree my terms or conditions. But, QU and ARC is growing exponentially now, yeah? And if that's an observation that my friend's making, I had an interesting conversation yesterday with the producer and director, and he kind of said, Scott, oh my God, I would literally like to follow you every moment of the day with a camera. And I said, perfect, do that. So every disappointed phone call with somebody who advocates and professes that they do this, they do that, but then when I pursue that course of route of action, when I actually talk to them, they don't do what they say on the tin. I'm quite happy to be transparent. I've got nothing to hide. But what that does is from the people watching that process and that journey, the producer director guy said eco-modular flood-proof housing. And I says it's going to be on a micro level as opposed to macro. Then I explained the benefits of micro versus macro, and then we talked about this new, energy, this generator source, etc., etc. And as he said, it's very multifaceted and different moving components. But I mean, at the end of the day, if you build eco-modular flood-proof housing, without this new piece of technology, you have to consider geothermal, solar, wind, other forms of renewable generation. But what this new technology does is it overrides all that. So, yeah, I mean, some really interesting things going on. But just now, Jabba, I'm just taking my time. I'm enjoying the process. And really, Independence Day, one of my friends, Troy, had posted something earlier on. He's an American, yeah, and maybe like most Americans, slightly disillusioned just now. And I'm trying to remember who did the song, and he just put, "Maybe we need to start walking like Egyptians." And it was just that short, sweet, and concise thing that I thought, yeah, I need to find that track. I can't remember who did that, and I'm going to post that. We need to start walking like Egyptians. I mean, the guy has been in there for a year, yeah.
It's funny that you say that, because yesterday we had the guy who talked about the pyramids and the pharaoh, and how they are implemented, and like he say that the Freemasons are coming from the pharaohs. So it's funny that you say we have to walk like the Egyptians. So and I think Bob even have everything what he needs to walk like a Freemason. So
yeah, I mean, Jabba, the point that I'm making is, the guy's been in there for a year. The Egyptian people aren't happy, and they've just said, time for you to go now.
Yeah.
And I don't know why in different countries we just keep on going through, cycles of Labour Party's failed. Okay, now let's switch to the Conservative Party. They've now failed. Let's switch back to the Labour Party.
But Egypt. I was there. I observed the first so-called revolution, and like the last one, and we have to know that we don't see what is really going on.
Yeah.
That
sure.
is of course the people are in the streets, and there was 22 signatures to make going Morsi again. But that is a way deeper manipulation also in Egypt, and Egypt is a very important point. It's like Jerusalem. That's why they have to keep the war and the tension and the whole energy there. And it's very important in this time to keep up the tension in this kind of how I would call it energy points of the planet. That is. And that is, they know where they are, and they know where they have to keep the tension up, and that is maybe something a little bit more, how we can say, mystery. But I definitely think that is what they know, what is going on, where they have to keep the tension is like the Tibet, why they have to keep the Tibetans, also in slavery, is same in Israel, is same in different places, and that's why walk like Egyptian. I fully agree. We even put like Freemason signs now outside our door, so if they come to destruct the houses, they will not get our ones. So walk like Egyptian, and maybe use the tool of the Egyptians too. Because I mean, they know how to use the mystics of the world. There's one thing I wrote, and I think is very good to read, is the Emerald tablets. Did you hear about that, Scott?
No, I haven't. No.
I will Emerald tablets. It's tablets they found under the pyramid. It's like, I don't know, it's 21, 12, 13 or something like that. But they are very magic to read. They are very spaced to read, but they say you can read them in different language and so on. So if we come back to independency from Walk Like Egyptian, I think Walk Like Egyptian can be a part of the independency, to know how to use the real tools.
Yeah, I mean, I think even with you guys, QU for ARC, let's claim Independence Day for you. Let's all be responsible for engineering a better world. I mean, I had a really interesting conversation with somebody yesterday, and he went, "Oh my God," he says, "You're making, extremely valid points. I'm highly engrossed in your message, your story, your journey." He says, "But you're not a hippie, are you?" And I went, "No. I'm actually a businessman." He says, "Yeah, but," he says, "your values seem quite bohemian." And even after talking with you guys, with your aquaponics, it's made me think eco-modular flood-proof housing, micro energy that's clean, efficient, more effective, makes that work. And, I'm thinking about contingents. What if this? What if that? What if this should occur? What if that should happen? And really, this is why we ourselves need to take action ourselves, because if you look at the turmoil that's going on just now, there are no contingents. And if we don't start creating those contingents ourselves, I'm thinking with what you guys are doing with aquaponics there, yeah. And I've kind of been talking with people just in general terms, and I says, well, that volcano in Iceland, it's ready to erupt. And I said, and the last one that erupted, that sent a cloud, over Europe for 3 months, if the next one erupts,
where I stick in Kazakhstan. I was in Kazakhstan when this volcano erupted, and they delete all the flights back to Switzerland. So we had, over 2 days, we had to travel over Moscow, over Italy, take the train, the car, the train, to come back to Europe. But I was just saying to my manager, please just get me back at least on Europe, that I can walk. I looked already on Google Map, the road through Iran, Iraq, and all these borders, like how long it would take with the car. So I know what this mean if you get stuck somewhere, and even for us, it's even for the weather and all that. Volcanoes are very aggressive in this sense. Yeah.
They change the whole weather pattern.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, BJ's there.
I am here, Scott.
Hi,
How are
BJ.
you?
I'm good. Yourself?
I'm not too bad.
Good. How's the aquaponics going?
It's coming along fine,
And what was it last week? What was the culinary delights last week?
Well, he installed. He was working hard, BJ. He installed a 1,000-liter fish tank and three beds of each 300 liters. So we have a huge aquaponic just starting to cycle in the dome, in the biodome, and we are looking forward to put that online with pictures and films.
But I want to know about the tomatoes.
Oh, the tomatoes, they are bigger now.
Yeah. Ah, they're bigger now. Okay, good.
And we eat nice cauliflowers. Yeah. It's Chaba Backyard. No. But Chaba Backyard is inspired of Bob Backyard, and he have amazing videos also that we will also promote more largely. He get a little bit lazy to put out any videos, so we will repost his videos, so he's motivated to make some new videos. But Bob is he have aquaponics since 12 years, and I learned through videos from Bob without knowing Bob. We just later on the radio I was like, Bob, but Bob backyard. Shit, man. But this is Bob. You know, I learned a lot from Bob through his videos, how to make bell siphons and aquaponic in general. So Bob is a way bigger specialist in aquaponic than we are. We are his little students, aquaponic students,
apprentices.
He can tell us all the mistakes that he's done, so we don't have to repeat them.
So yeah, I mean, how's the weather been there in Geneva recently then?
Well, Geneva, I don't really know, but in Geneva they had big hailstorm, and the second time even. But here we just had rain a couple of days, and now it's going up sunshine, and hopefully some days of good sun.
Yeah. So
but
do you think,
we also declare independency with our radio, Scott. That's why Bob also, he don't like to go to Google or something like that. But maybe Bobby can explain more like how we arrived to be without corporations. Well, now we talk over Skype, but soon that will change too. We only will talk about talk together about Mumble. Is the new thing to install on the computers, and is without cooperation and good quality, by the way. Bob?
Is it? Right.
Well, it's the choice, isn't it? I mean, Lee put it really well in one of the last clips, which Sparky is a jingle. It's the longest jingle in the history of radio at 6 minutes. It is quite funny. Sparky just took loads of clips of a few of us. What's the difference, I suppose, at the end of the day, if we're using... And let me correct you there. We are actually 100% open source on the server. Of course, the server can accommodate people who haven't yet realised there's a massive integrated network of amateurs all over the world that have been working pretty tirelessly to bring round world beneficial change. Of course, change is inevitable with everything. And the Linux community just being one of those. I mean, most people aren't aware of the largest research and development organisation on earth is radio amateurs. They're independent. So, to me, the ideology of independent broadcast or for a real voice of the internet. Of course, this isn't radio. We only call it radio because we can only hear voice and we don't have pictures. So this is the internet. And we, to the best of our ability so far, and I want to stress how difficult it is, you know, and I'm not kind of getting the sympathy vote here. I'm actually showing some compassion for all you people who haven't done it yet. We have done it. That's how I know how difficult it is. To be completely free of corporate control and as Lee said it, what I was getting to, being airbrushed or photoshopped along the way. We're not being allowed to speak. That's the truth of it. You're being lied to. The numbers you get are coerced. Of course, from a businessman's point of view, you'll be sorry to say that since we've been on air, you've lost 22,000 listeners from a businessman's point of view. I mean, but from a normal guy's point of view, you know, you've just lost 21 listeners in the time. You see, the truth Now, of course, if I'm trying to sell this to you, Scott, I come to your corporate kind of interactive bank people, right? Them lot, right? And I say to them, you can come and advertise on us. I'll tell you what I'll use, Lloyd's TSB, because we actually do advertise for Lloyd's TSB. I don't know if you're aware of that. We do run a Lloyd's TSB ad. I suggest you listen for it on the tunes, because it is there. So we'll take Lloyd's TSB Bank, and I come up and I say to them, we're going to advertise you. You can pay to advertise on Darkcity Radio. And they said to us, right, well, we're a fringe group, you know, and we're not a fringe group. We're the only free media stream on the internet. The only one. There is no other. We're the only non-corporate one. Well, all right. How many people do you get? Well, our minimum viewers are about 22,000. Of course, I don't know the figures, but we've topped out at 250,000. Ooh, 250,000 viewers. Ooh. Of course, that they may be a little bit interested in that. Well, could you say, oh yeah, we can set those up through multiple ground stations, giving you, potential of over a million on every ground station. We're currently running 2, and we're going to they're capable of doing 3 million. Well, no, because we can actually do double the fold. So once we get to that size, we'll be able to do about 12 million. Ooh. Sounds good now. But if I actually tell you the real truth, I'm actually talking between 20 and 40 listeners. They're not going to pay for advertising. They're not going to pay. I know that. You know, even you, a man in the street, if I come up to you and say, oh, I've got a radio station, how many people tune in? 20. You're going to go, forget it, I'm going on there. But you see, when you look at the real figures, Scott, there's many people now defending their positions on these so-called stations, because Darkcity Radio is the most successful radio station in the United Kingdom. It's grown quicker than any other station. It has more listeners than any other station. Because, for one simple thing only, we are not corporate. It's simple. We can't be coerced. Banks can't offer us money. I mean, we've had people coming along offering this, offering that. And what we've learned is, by cooperatively working together, we have already made a difference. It's organic. We can't sit back and say, oh, well, we have to wait for this to happen and that to happen, you know, and there's this technologies and that technology. No. We're not waiting for tomorrow. We're not being led off into a better, brighter future tomorrow. That's not happening. We're making radical changes every single moment of our lives, because we can identify that that's been going on anyway, and it's only been serving a selective few. And this has led the majority of us into a position where we, as individuals, are now out of control. We live in a society that breeds upon the bloodlust and fear-mongering for people's wealth in their pocket. That is what we've degraded to. And that's where we are. And we can accept that. That's right, we can. And we can do something about it. We don't have to go and create something else. You know, we don't have to make more stuff. You know, when you look at the energy providing companies, they're just trying to do a job. It's the lying, cheating scum that sells us the product. It's the middleman. If you deal directly with your electrical company, you know, you'd be paying 85% less for your fuel. We wouldn't be too concerned then if we learned to redistribute energy correctly rather than using a Victorian ideology to distribute power. It's preposterous. And then we're going around and blaming the other people because we're too stupid to recognise we're being conned by the middleman.
Bob, I had an experience on mainstream radio a couple of weeks ago. And it was Radio Tay, and it was with Ali Bali, and it was Tay Talking, which happens on a Sunday. So Ali was kind of having a rant about, are we turning into a nation of moaners? And I kind of phoned up and I said, well, do you not think we're entitled to be a nation of moaners? You know, why are we in this situation? And I said, Ali, I'll tell you why we're in this situation, because lack of restraint has been applied by politicians, bankers, and certain captains of industry. With that, about airbrushing and pasting and all the rest that you were talking about, Bob, I was then aired over, and then a politician came into the discussion. But for that moment that I actually made those comments, their listeners would have been thinking, what Scott said is true. It is lack of restraint that's led us into this situation. I mean, a politician gets something wrong. They're now talking about increasing their salaries. They don't suffer the consequences of their bad judgment. We do. A banker gets it wrong. They don't suffer. He still collects his salary, his bonus. We suffer. So today, QU for ARC, Independence Day, take responsibility for engineering a better world yourself.
After coming off Google Plus, can't you see the irony in that statement, Scott?
Look, you know,
I know
Bob,
we're all learning this, mate. I'm not having to go at you personally. Don't take it that way. But can you not see the irony in it? It's like, that's what we're doing. We're saying we want to be independent of the corporate controlling, you know, the men who are hiding behind that mythical curtain you speak of, right? You know, we say we want to be independent, but we're going to keep using their shit. I don't get it, man. It's my head, which is wired.
Just a second. What I'm doing is I'm reaching out to you as you're speaking. Yeah.
Really? Right. Okay. I missed that.
No, but any platform, medium, or network, you know, is a means for me to reach out to people. Is for me to get QU and ARC out there. Now, I'm here. My comments, my statements are not being, you know, brushed out. I get the point entirely. But to reach out, I still need to use other mediums, platforms, and networks.
I agree. Where you feel you are at this moment in time, you'd be right. You do still have a need to do that. 100%. But we have given over, or at least I and quite a few of us, I can't speak for everyone here, nor do I, but many of us have realised that our needs are not really that important. In fact, they're quite superficial. What's really required is the change that we've all been speaking of for so long. And by implementing that in such a small level, we have done it. So in a sense, I get why you would feel totally, because I was once there. No, actually, I wasn't. I'm lying, and I don't want to do that. I kind of had a problem with YouTube immediately when Google bought it, and well, when it was sold, excuse me, when Google was sold, and they actually ripped off all the original Google YouTube uploaders that should have received a percentage of the profit, and then they actually came up with AdSense, pyramid selling, fake. And if you doubt this, just send me your video with an AdSense on it, and I will shut your AdSense account down for you, completely free of charge. AdSense will shut your account down for improper use. Okay? Improper use. And do you know what improper use is? When people click on the adverts. Mm-hmm. It's that simple. It's a con. It's a fiddle. All right? Now, the banks rob us. You know that. You've said it yourself. Right. Rob who? To be robbed, you first must have possession. You must be possessed. So many people are actually, in that conscious state of whatever you want to call it. I mean, I don't really want to call it. It was put in the chat room about evolution, and here we go again. You know, revolution, evolution, revolution. Oh, here we go again, round and round. And it is. It's like, get off that ride and try a different one in the park. Jump the queue. You know, jump the queue. You know. A mate of mine a while ago had a slogan. He had it on the back of his car, bumper stickers, I think they call them, in the US. And it said, "Ascend now and beat the rush, workshops and seminars." You know, and that's just the case. How long are we going to keep saying, You know, we want to have swift change, but continue to do exactly what we've done before, over and over again. And then complain that there has not been no change in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
I get lost with it, mate, Scott. Like I say, I'm quite entitled for people to go round on that merry-go-round. Because me and Chris Sparky went off. I think he got on the dodgems. I don't know what the dodgems were like. And I went on the roller coaster for 20 minutes. But it's a ride, to quote Bill Hicks. And as an individual, you can change it whenever you like. Of course, if you need of others, then you can't change it until you release your need of others. Because now you're not speaking for Paul or Scott or Sparky or Lee or Jabba. You're not. You're speaking for this collective that's been formed around us because we were insecure at that time. As we release ourselves and empower ourselves, look around you at this time. Look around you. I mean, nobody knows who I am, Scott. I'm just a working class bloke from the north, and that's it. I'm meeting people and they're like, whoa, I speak to the prince of this and thousands of millions of people. And I'm like, yeah, all right, we're just working class, we're making an angle. But, we're all rich and, all right, then, you're rich and famous. Put £5 in the pot then, as you leave.
Well,
that's how they got there, Scott. Well, that's how they got there, man, because they trample all over the likes of us. And do you know what we do? We go, no, you're all right, thank you, carry on. We don't want it. We don't want it. And that's where we've got now with it. We don't need them. You may. You might, and I can't argue with that. You may, Scott. And I hear your words, I hear your points. Bang on, man. I know you still need them. But
and when you say need them, who
your banks, your corporations, the ones you're trying to sell your product to, the governments.
No, I don't need them, Bob. That's where you're wrong.
Okay, then, so we're not using Google. We're not trying to reach out to people to actually form a
but no.
Group to make it.
That's out of context, Bob. I'm using those platforms, mediums, and networks to reach out to people that we can bring to us.
Ah, right. Well, right. There's the difference. Okay, I'm not reaching out to people. Okay, we're here. That's it. We're here, and we've developed this. And the website, I mean, people, if they haven't actually noticed it, have a look. Have a look at that because it's changed.
Okay, there's always a positive out of a negative, okay? The Google thing, granted...
Well, I don't do positive and negative, but you can. Yeah?
But in all fairness, how many people that went to go and listen to that content through Google Plus, which didn't occur, are now listening to this show now?
None.
None?
No.
You're 100% sure about that?
Oh, yeah, man. I can see exactly. None of them.
If I can intervene.
Not our audience, Scott.
Because I've just had messages in the background with some of the people that should have been listening to the other show that couldn't, who are listening just now.
Well, I can tell you, since this show started, there is 4 people joined us.
Right.
Okay. And one of them...
One or two of them I probably know.
Hang on, I'll tell you. This is, if you want to know, let me tell you, man. One of them was 13 minutes ago, 1:4, 1:3, 1:1 and 1:43 seconds. Of course, that's moved on a few seconds since I've just clicked it to let you know. Oh, somebody else has just joined.
So yeah,
moving on.
If I can intervene in,
what I could, just before you do, Jabba, what I could say is you have seemed to have got quite a lot of interest, or you are getting quite a lot of interest from the United States, which we didn't have before, Scott. So although the numbers haven't necessarily gone up, well, they've gone down actually. They've changed. They've changed. You see, so some people have actually come, joined us, because we had nobody on from the United States prior to this. And now we have. But I can't give you much more exact than that. You know, that's what's happening currently live now.
Yeah.
That's going to knock...
And that kind of demographic goes with hits that I'm experiencing. Most of the people that are tuning in to whatever medium are predominantly from America or the UK. Yeah. I have of late, in the last month, had a lot of listening from Japan.
Well, well, there's nobody from Japan, but you're going to be disappointed now because there's only one from the USA now, and it just turned off, Scott. You look,
Right.
what I'm trying to get at here is I'm not trying to have a go at you, all right? I'm not, man. We've been had. The figures are fake. Bro, those figures, right, the average show's figures for tonight are 44,640 average monthly viewers. Mm-hmm. You see, this is what I tried to explain at the beginning. Look, I know people start to defend it. The fact that you've got a couple of people that are actually responding to you, man, is what, my God, that's like, what, 1/6 of what Jesus had. Okay? You've got to put it into perspective. They're lying about these hundreds of thousands of millions of people that are actually active in doing something like yourself.
Yeah. But, we shouldn't...
half a dozen of your people.
We shouldn't concentrate too much of our energy on what they're doing and concentrate our energy on what we're doing.
Well, exactly. You're putting a lot of energy to reaching out to all them people, Scott, and at the end of the day, you're putting your energy into that. As far as I get it, you're a great creative thinker. It's like you haven't got the tools to be able to get on with what you really want to be doing, bro. And that
No. That's not entirely true, Bob.
Oh, right. Excuse me.
I've just had
that you were trying to get people together because you wanted to move on with your creative ideas. I misunderstood, man. My apologies.
I do wish to accomplish that. I've just had a message in the back on Facebook from a friend. He said, one of those four is me. Hello. At the end of the day, there's a lot of things occurring that are quite interesting, and I'm just taking my time, Bob. If in this process, people can see my restraint and taking my time. Another friend of mine made an observation. They said, look, Scott, plenty of people before you have tried to do what you're doing with innovative, creative, game-changing ideas. But as soon as the money comes along, they disappear into insignificance. I really believe in the value that I'm creating here. And there's no monetary value that can be put on that. It's not for sale. It can't be bought. I want to see everything out to its final conclusion. But in that process, Bob, there's a lot of people that are extremely disillusioned. They've heard all these concepts, ideas, visions before. Look at Facebook as the great social networking medium that was created to achieve. It's just an advertising space now.
Mm-hmm. If I just can intervene, I think somebody need to mute his microphone. I'm not sure if...
it's coming from Scott.
Is it?
It's okay, Amy Stewart, if you've just joined us, it wasn't you, but whatever you do now, you were very quiet. Now we have got voice from you.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, Amy. Yes,
hey,
it wasn't
Scott,
you.
I actually was able to get over here and join in. I haven't been able to listen to very much, but I'm with you guys on it 100% on all of this. So,
that's a good one.
We just
I didn't hear what you say, but I'm with you. Thank you very much.
I didn't. No, I heard the parts that I heard. I'm with it, with Scott on it, because I know where Scott's at, and I just couldn't get the Google Plus to work earlier. So, it is what it is, But
do you mind, Amy? Because it's quite interesting. You're an American, and it's the 4th of July.
Yes.
Does Independence Day mean what it used to mean to you?
Independence Day for me is a lot of different things. It's a day when our family has time together, and today, unfortunately, has kind of been a crazy day. I've got an art show that's soft opening tonight, so I'm trying to get things done for that. But, then that in itself for me is independence, because my art is my income. So, the key is being able to be independent and on all levels, not just as a nation or a national level, but as an individual who wants to attain the American dream or the world dream of wealth, not necessarily the American dream, because I really hate that term. You know what I mean? So, because everyone can attain. You know, it doesn't matter where you are. If you work hard enough and you put your focus to it, you can find your way. And that's the thing that I believe in with Scott so much, is because he's doing that. And that's what I was agreeing to, actually. So, as far as, you know, it's all Independence Day in America is celebrated in a lot of different levels. Some people focus on the military accomplishments and the history of that. Other people focus on the family aspects. And I have just found in my traditions with my family is to focus on the family aspects of getting together and sharing, similar to a Thanksgiving, though remembering what it all stands for. So,
okay, here's another example. Rod Anderson is a good friend of mine. He's a producer director from LA, yeah, and I'm affiliated with a group which is Home for the Vets Now. Now, here's an example: eco-modular, flood-proof housing, micro-energy generation. There you have micro communities for our vets.
Right, exactly. And that's one area where it's horrible here in the United States.
Sure.
There are so many homeless vets, and it just makes me so angry. And the fact that they're cutting more and more and more funding for mental health services when these guys are coming home with just war weary on every level, you know, and it's for the highest rate of murder amongst, you know, when murder happens, the highest rate is spouse on spouse, typically military, veteran, you know, and it's horrid. There's those statistics need to change. We need to collectively come together, and I don't really like that term either, but we all need to hold our conscious selves accountable for working to try to help what we can within our communities and, you know, ultimately the world, through paying attention to those who need that extra hand up, you know,
and we've spoken about this separately, Amy, about Occupy, and we've touched on Zeitgeist, and the fundamental difference, I do believe in QU and ARC, we have a direction and we have an objective.
Exactly.
So I've kind of, you know, I've stopped throwing stones at politicians, stopped throwing stones at bankers. I don't engage or interact with them anymore. However, you know, Bob and Jabba may slightly differ on this direction here, is that what I am aligning QU and ARC towards is precious commodities. Whatever may materialize, there will always, in my opinion, be an exchange mechanism. Okay, the ultimate long-term sustainable value of longevity is what I believe that we will build beyond any artificial, inflated, highly geared, current built environment. But we need to create a mechanism to actually orchestrate those things. Once they can touch and feel that and see the value beyond monetary terms of what we've created, then everything previous to that will seem so superficial.
Oh, yeah, I agree completely.
But we have to get from A to B.
Yeah, Scott? If we talk in general about independency, and that there is a very important point, because what you have mentioned, that it will always be, you know, like that it will always be thing. We don't know what will really be in the future, you know, and putting to say like it will always be. It's interesting because we talk about independency, you know, so therefore if we talk about independency, we have to also consider any type of independency. And also, like Ami, a question to Ami is like, why do you need a day from the government to tell you when you have to take care about your family? You do it every day.
Right, exactly. But today is a little more special. It's a little more cleaned up. You know what I mean? It's a holiday where we celebrate the fact that America was founded, you know, and that's the historical aspects of it, obviously.
Do you know what is hidden in the word history?
You could enlighten me. There's a lot of...
Is his story. Mm-hmm. It's not our story.
Ah.
And just by the way, by 76?
Yes.
Is the date where the Illuminati was created.
Oh,
so
okay.
Even the day of today is part of the Illuminati. And what is Illuminati? Is like Darren did say last time, is 13 families. So they only can get important if we give them importance. And that is days like today. If we celebrate something special on days like the government tell us to do something special, that is like a ritual for them. That is like they tell us what to do on certain days, that they get all the energy they need in their kind of way of doing things.
Okay.
Babylon decoded.
So this is all this kind of different things. That's why it's like I don't celebrate my birthday. It's more I celebrate more. This is my mother's. My mother suffer and bring me here. She did all the job. So it's not me to celebrate anything. Then her. For myself, it's the same. Like the different dates they give us, like Christmas, like you mentioned also the. No, you mentioned the another celebration you did. When Thanksgiving. Exactly. Right. That's all very important dates that are transformed in energy dates. And if we celebrate them in a certain way, we are taking part in rituals. And that is something to really to take care. If we talk about independency, because if we talk about independency, we have to get rid of all independency. That's why Bob also talk about if we want to change the world in a way, we have to get independent 100%. That is the first thing to do, because if not, it's just jumping from a system to another system. Because anytime we talk about a system, they say, yeah, but what kind of system you would propose? I say, to jump from system to system is just from jumping from one cage to another.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
that is true.
Excuse me, just all sit back now and don't worry, because we'll make it all right for you tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Well, see, I've been self-employed since 1991. So, you know, I'm very much about independence, and I don't rely on anyone for anything, because I can't. I came to a conclusion a long time ago that, and as I've watched my friends who have relied on other people for jobs and things, as they get older, they get phased out, and then their retirement is gone, and this and that and the other thing, and you know, and now they're too old to be working in their industry, and now they don't know where to go, and you know, so I completely understand that, and you know, the only thing that I do as far as the community is concerned for 4th of July is go out and do the fireworks. Other than that, we pretty much just stay home, you know, which is an independent way of, you know, people here, most people go out and they get involved in all the community activities and so forth and so on. And that's fine. And that's fine. If that's what they need for them, then, you know, more power to them. Let them go where they need to go. But it's interesting how you did the comparison on the Illuminati. I had never thought of it like that. Thank you for opening my eyes and enlightening me a little bit.
It's all dates that are celebrated from the government or from the church are very important days. That is like it's reverse psychology. It's really like in the news, in the his story. It's his story. It's their story. It's not our story.
Right.
So and you change story in 3 generations, you change the whole story. So if Egypt and the pyramids was really 4,000 years or 300 or 600 years ago, we have no clue.
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
So Independence Day, then.
I've just had a message coming in. Just 1 second. I've just had a message coming in here. Apparently Google are asking us if we could help them out this evening. They're having a bit of a problem.
No, that's true.
I'll pass you the email on, Scott.
Oh Lord. Well, hey, it's a format, you know. Formats are formats. I'd never worked with Google before. I've always worked with Livestream. So, you know, it's
well, let me welcome you. Let me welcome you formally to Darkcity. This is your radio. We made it for you. We did. So yeah, there you go. Welcome to Darkcity, Amy. It's nice to have you. And you know, something we noticed, and it was written in the room, frequency emitted as a result of your mood.
Yeah, I saw that.
And you see, that's why I welcome you to Darkcity, because of the frequency that you're emitting. It's got absolutely nothing to do with what you've said. Your frequency's right on.
I'm a little abstract today because that's where my...
Oh, congratulations.
Yes, I'm a little abstract today. Exactly.
You do realise without people being abstract and divergent, we'd all still now be sitting around looking at a wheel grunting.
That's true. That is so true.
But
somebody picked up that berry and smeared it on a wall, and they created art. You know?
Yes, and we have to be careful of the spectacles we're wearing at the time, of course. Otherwise, we can end up creating beauty out of sheer atrocity. And of course, it's far better to start without the atrocity.
And there are I'll tell you what, and there are quite a few pieces that have been artworks over history. Well, I don't want to say history, but they are those stories that have been very, very dark. And this world needs some light somehow, some way. Sure. And it certainly doesn't come from religion. And that's my stance on it, you know. So.
We're going to be joined by somebody with a Roy. Roy, I've got to get back to him actually. I spoke to him the other day, a member of the Universal Life Church. And he was actually saying to me in the brief conversation we had to put down the books and the divisions that religion had created and start to work in cooperatively. I don't know. Exactly. I don't know how I'm going to be. How I will be received on Darkcity Radio. And I immediately said, right, I'll schedule in for a show 3 times a week. Because I know that we may only be a small group. I'm not disputing that we're a small group. But that's been recognised, the fact that we are just individuals that are just almost desperately, you know, trying to find our place within this, where we don't have to screw somebody else over, where somebody else isn't getting screwed over. It's not. I'm not. It was Rick Simpson who gave it me the other day. I mentioned it earlier. You know, I'm not fearful any longer for myself. There's nothing to lose. I have nothing to lose. I'm the
same way. Yeah. I completely understand that.
I'm often manipulated into other people's fear now that I don't want to hurt anybody else. Well, they're getting hurt already. They're already getting hurt because it was me. And I didn't even know. Like a rabid dog, you know. I mean, the people I cared about the most, you know, I'm snapping at. I'm in pain. That's what we do when we're in pain. And people go, oh, well, you're physically fit. Yeah, I am. But I went through mental and emotional trauma. You know, this isn't considered. You know, you have these kinds of things. Oh, well, it's unrepairable. It takes over and possesses our personalities. And it's difficult. It really is. So that's why I always, you know, I'd sooner have a dozen, 24 people, you know, that are committed. Because you meet up with people, like I say, I mentioned Rick, I'm going to mention him again, Rick, because what's happened with us here, in the short space of time, that the individuals that have come together, You know, it's changed, it's fluxed, it really has. Far quicker than anyone can ever keep up with. We can't, because there's so many of us doing our own little things. Little things, you know. And when we come together with that creative energy, it's like walking around with a nuclear missile in your back pocket. You've got to be careful with what you're doing, you know. It is a massive focus of energy we've got. And that's where I was trying to get with Scott earlier. To me, it sounds like, and I'm not trying to put words in, I'm just trying to hear what's being said. It's something I've learned here, mate. To listen to what people are saying. That's been something I've not been too clever at in my life. But to listen to them. And it sounds to me like there's a guy there who's dead creative. He's a bit divergent, although I suppose he can't admit that to them people he normally works with. And you know, don't tell anybody, especially not live on air. Well, never mind. So yeah, but it's almost like he can't get his hands on his tools. You know, it's like, oh, God, I need the materials. Come on, we can do it. And I so kind of relate to that. Of course, that's a little bit of my projection onto what I'm hearing said, what Scott's actually saying.
You know, there are tools being offered, but the tools that are being offered are not really from the right tradesmen. And if the tools aren't given to me under my terms and conditions, I just walk away, Bob. And you know, this month, more so than any month before, I've gone from being perceived as quite radical and eccentric with my ideas to being ostracized to becoming quite popular. And that's a very unusual dynamic that I haven't been used to for quite some time. But, you know, you kind of have to tread in that process with caution.
Ah, right. Well, when I find myself in that position, you know, what I tend to do is, I get on air, I get very sincere about the people who have come forward, you know, who think that they could put over some condition or try to offer us something to manipulate us into their way of thinking. Well, I've got a message for you all. Fuck off! We're not for sale! You can't buy us! We don't belong to anybody! Fuck off! Works really well, Scott. They don't expect you to do it. But don't do it 3 times on a United States airline, because all the crew will faint and the plane will fall from the sky. Right? Because they're already in judgment. They're in judgment of who we are and what we're doing. And try to deal with them, bro. I completely sympathise with you. You know, when the rich merchants come knocking on the door, which they already have, that's why we're here, Scott. All right. And when we get ripped off by them yet again and again and again, when we find out the banks are robbing us, right, the churches are built in paedophiles, and most of the people in church are bloody good people. That's what galls away at me. The people who are following religion, they're good people, they're real Christians. They don't want to be in debt. It's against their law. I've said it loads of times. Don't take my word for it. Go and have a look at it. Go and have a look how them people have been duped. You know? And so what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Wait for tomorrow and solve it? Wait for the bankers to come along and give us money? That's not what we did. We didn't do that. No, it's not going to happen. Well, we didn't do it. You know, and we've just kind of joined up with one of my heroes, Rick Simpson. You know, the guy who stood against his government, who was run out of his own country, who's now back there, right, kicking ass. I'll tell. Well, Rick's not really kicking ass. He's a beautiful guy. I mean, Rick's a loving, giving kind of bloke. You know, he is. But the people around him now are hearing what I'm saying, and that's kicking ass. You know, all over Canada now. All over. Rick's coming over to Spain. We're going to do it. We're going to do it because, you know, we're going to put our homes, what we call our homes. They're not ours. We've possessed them long enough. Well, yeah, get that in there. Let's go and do it. You know, and people hear this. And they're like, can we join in? How do we join in? What will it? And, you know, we stood around for ages and it just clicked one day. Well, it's 100 people at €300 each. 30,000 euros. We can start. And everybody were going, I want in. When do we begin? I want in. I want in. I want. And look, I know there's people because I know some of the IPs, right? I know you're there listening now. Look, we are sorting that out. Rick has made an announcement. We are going to do it. I just don't know. I don't know how to do that. How do I deal with people now who want to give us loads of money? I don't know how to deal with it, Scott. I haven't got a clue.
Really? Look, it's not even relevant.
What's it is? We're talking about giving people treatment for cancer. They can cure cancer. They've buried that for years. How can that not be relevant? We're talking about.
No, I'm talking appertaining to the situation. It's not relevant me to quantify or signify the amounts of money that was discussed or negotiated.
Yeah, well, I'm not asking you to do that. I'm saying
no.
But, for less than £2,000 pounds.
But Bob, but the moment I walked away from the situation, and I'm kind of thinking how many other people would have actually been in my shoes would have done the same.
Exactly.
The minute you agree to something under duress, it will be followed by duress.
Yeah, you didn't listen to the show before. Obviously, this is exactly what we were talking about with Sarah Lioness. Sarah Lionheart. Hey, I've just renamed her. Ooh, Sarah Lionheart. But no, Sarah Lioness. On Dave Matthews, personal navigation man. Exactly, that's where we got to about people being driven into demand. It's not a choice. It's not a choice. You know, that's what I say. It's like, wow. You know, how did we ever get into these positions, man? Us. You know, I stopped looking at other people and try to tell them how they should be and what they should do and how we should do it. I generally didn't know. Why would I presume that I know more about this than anybody else? How do I get? And I did for a long time, man. I seemed to think I had an head. I knew what. I was just deluded as anyway. You know, really didn't know. I really didn't know. It's like only in the last few months, really, that it's just gone click, click, click. Wow, hang on a minute.
Okay, there was a very interesting announcement in the last couple of days, Bob. And that announcement in the last couple of days were the markets are going to become very volatile over the summer.
Don't scare us, man. Don't worry us. It won't make any difference.
No. But the point being
I'm dead happy. I hope it gets dead volatile and it sets on fire. It gets that volatile, the markets. You know, I really do. You're talking about the financial markets, aren't you?
When is that? I need to prepare the popcorn.
Brilliant. Yeah. Nice one, mate. Nice one. So yeah, I don't subscribe, bro. I mean, that's great news if that's the case. If the financial markets are about to collapse, that's great news. I mean, of course, what always happens, whether they go up or down, doesn't make any iota of difference. But to the people like themselves, they pay for more tax to cover their losses.
Yeah, but we had this conversation before, but the Facebook example. Unfortunately, it's human instinctive behavior. Create something fashionable that people get their own individual kudos for being linked and associated with that fashionable thing. QU and ARC has to become fashionable. It has to be seen to be fashionable. Unfortunately, that will be the dynamic that people start following.
Scott? That is something. I don't think you want to give another illusion of something, right?
No, for sure.
So it only have to be real. The other problem is like what you are facing, and that is also what Bob was mentioning before. You can go out to promote anything. They have to make the choice to agree with what you're doing or not. And therefore, even the amount of people is not very important. It's more like how much do people really give into it, and the amount will grow. That I think, you know what therefore it's like the independency. You don't have to search the people; they will come. And in a way, also, you don't need to sail you don't need to sail your Q and ARC project. That is also what I see. When what should not happen with your project. The people have to see the necessity and have to see what they need out of it, because they see that it is logic and it is. That's why you don't really have to promote it or sell it or to make it like sexy or like attracting or anything. You with me?
Yeah, but in all fairness, Jabbo, whilst you've touched on that, Glastonbury has just been and gone. You're a musician, Jabba. I mean, your opinion and view on Glastonbury, what does it mean to you?
McDonald's for music.
Okay, that's interesting. So you take Notting Hill as an example. Used to be very bohemian.
Yeah, but all of them catched up as soon as you have sponsor on any show, you have to make your festival in a certain way. You need to have any kind of type of thing. I know that. Yeah.
Okay. That's why so QUnark needs to be eco chic. It needs to be a trendsetter. After you've built those blocks, yeah. Okay. There's going to be an inevitable following of masses. The things that you actually put in place in its inception will determine what control can be, applied over that as it organically evolves and grows.
Hang on a minute. Control over the organic growth. You lost me there, Scott.
Well, you kind of have to put certain parameters in place, I mean, I'll give you an example. Okay, today I build a QUnark eco-modular flood-proof house. It's micro. It's utilizing this generator. All of a sudden, people are enlightened. They're awakened. They want one. Unless you put some parameters in place, what used to be the bohemian Glastonbury, as Jabba said, will inevitably become that McDonald's. Unless you put certain things in place to stop it becoming that.
I don't think so.
Neither do I. No, I don't. Excuse me, Jabba. I think that's let's not control it by controlling it. To me, but again, my head's wired a bit weird, Scott. You'll have to explain.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, look, it's a discussion. It's a chat. So why did Glastonbury become McDonald's then?
Because we allowed it to do so. I mean, you can't. That's
kind of what we're talking about here, because we allowed it to. So if you don't put some parameters in place and some restrictions.
Well, what about Stonehenge, right? Where were the parameters and restrictions at Stonehenge?
Yeah, but we've evolved a little bit further from Stonehenge.
Caller coming in. No, I mean, sorry? 22 years ago. We have a caller coming in.
Okay.
Or maybe not.
No, we do.
Hello.
Hi, did you call Darkcity Radio?
Yes, I did.
Hi, you're live on air with Jabba and Scott.
Hi, Jabba. Hi, Scott.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah. Hello. Oh.
Hello.
I can hear you all.
Oh, can you? Is that Louis?
I did indeed.
You've got your radio on, I think. You need to turn your radio off in the background. That's the problem.
Yeah. There. Better?
That's the one. Please continue.
Hi. Just thought I'd phone up and say hi. I was listening there. Some interesting stuff. I think I know what Scott's where he's coming from on the controlling the organic growth, but the important thing, I think you probably both agree with me, though, is that the control has to be a kind of like a spiritual control as opposed to a physical or financial or any other kind of control.
Yeah, yeah.
It has to be in the spirit in which things are done. But at the end of the day, if everybody in the world ends up living in a QU and ARC style eco-modular flood-proof housing with micro energy generations, then who's to say it's become McDonald's? If everybody's living like that, then we're getting somewhere at the end of the day. So organic growth, unrestricted by anything except the spiritual rightness of what it is to live like that.
Are you aware that the Vikings, or the Norsemen, or what we know as the Vikings, they actually used thermal mass within their housing? Yeah,
and not just the Vikings. It happened here as well in the Stone Age in Scotland. We know they built they built earth houses just near where Scott and I live. There are things called earth houses, or the remains of them, and these were kind of buried. You went down and into them and inside, and they would have been really cozy and warm inside, even in winter, because they were underground.
Working with their environment, you know.
Using the materials that were available.
Yeah, hang on a minute. So, if we now flip back in time and look at, we're living in a half dugout house, it's lined up correctly to give us correct airflow and so forth. And we're back now a couple of thousand years, maybe 4,000 years, and maybe even more. I don't know. But, we're a good way back now, and I bet you we'd be thinking, someday everybody will have an house like this. Are you with me?
For sure.
That's where I mean, if we try and control, then we're controlling. We're kind of, I don't want to be controlled. I get why this kind of, if we weren't controlled, then we'd be out of control. I mean, okay, we're out of control. What damage is that going to do? Because we are, at this moment in time, controlled quite a lot. I'm sure we can all agree on that. And it is causing lots of damage. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that we get out of control in a sense where we all go tearing down the buildings and burn things down. I mean, when I say, let the banks burn, I mean, spiritually, hypothetically, remove them from our consciousness, stop using them, but
find alternatives where there are alternatives.
They're not talking spiritually, bro. They're talking murdering people, right? Selling weapons, right, to people and conjuring up, going in, massacring people, engineering wars right now on our Earth. On our Earth. That's what's going on. And to me, it's like, wow. For me, I don't want to be in a position where I'm contributing to that. I think that's the trauma we're all living in. All of us. No matter where you're on Earth, when one of us is getting hacked to death in the street, right, or one of us is starving, one of us is hurting, one of us is in pain, we've all got a bit of it to deal with. We've all dealt with the badness and the good times and stuff. Now I think we're going to have to deal with it on an individual level, but collectively. We can't keep giving up our authority.
Which is a contradiction in terms, of course, but it's kind of like controlling the organic growth. Individually but collectively.
Yeah, you can't.
Controlling organic growth.
You have to sort out your mess. I sort out my mess. And then collectively we haven't got any mess. That's what I'm saying. So I'm not controlling you to do it. You're not controlling me. You're taking power back for yourself and giving up control. Giving it up.
Yeah.
And seeing what happens for you, I'll do the same, and we'll allow the organic nature of who we are to show us, rather than what we've had previously. You see, that's how the consciousness of Divergent works. It's not. You put it in a box, it'll immediately think outside the box. All right, I've been put in a box. You see, you can't lock it down. You can't control it. It is organic in its nature, always coming up with something completely different. Now, at first, they seem like crazy, nut and lunatic men. They always do. Slowly but surely. Oh, look, We all need to get that. Now, those are the people who, they are divergent, of course. If they hadn't been controlled and manipulated the way we have for so long, we'd all be able to see that. We'd all have organic. We wouldn't be trained out of us. You know, and we'd move on at an incredible rate. You know, way beyond anything, any advancements we've ever known. Because we would therefore be working cooperatively, rather than in this feudal system we're currently working in. We've all got to outdo one another. We've got, you know, and we can't all do it. You can't do everything on Earth on your own.
Okay, there's something that I'm going to share with you just now, okay?
So what I'm saying is, it looks like what we're trying to create, what we're trying to achieve, is already ongoing. It's already ongoing, and it has been all the time we've been here. It's been there, ongoing. We are just beginning to recognise it. I think the danger comes when we do recognise it, we try to control it or we try to manipulate it, because that's what's been done to us and that's what we know. And I think that would put us in a...
Exactly, in a nutshell.
Yeah, man.
That's exactly what it is. We are conditioned to behave in that way. And even if we're aware that we're conditioned to behave in certain ways, the actual conditioning makes it difficult for us not to behave in a conditioned way because we've been conditioned.
Right? Exactly. Yeah. But you notice you said it completely differently. Yeah. That's we've got to. You're going to get it your way. I'm going to get it my way. And hey, hang on a minute. We don't have to do that. No, we don't. It doesn't turn into something we suddenly like go crazy. When you're out of control, it doesn't mean you're crazy. It actually means you're free.
Freedom is stepping outside of the Hegelian dialectic.
Well, you don't need it anymore.
You don't need to be a part of it.
Once you...
But we've been conditioned to be a part of it, so that we're either Celtic or Rangers, you know, Liverpool or Everton, Hearts or Hibs, Birmingham City or Aston Villa. You can't, you know, there's no middle ground. But if you just say, well, I'm into football, I like, what team do you support? All of them.
Right on, brother. I like it.
Do you know? And then, then you start to grow. It doesn't. It's you're happy whatever the result is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it's been lovely talking with you, Scott. I'll speak to you tomorrow, brother.
Yeah, for sure, Louis. All the best.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm just gonna and lovely talking with you. Is that Bob?
Yes, I am. Well, yeah, I'm known as Bob. Yes.
Bob, right? Well, Bob, yeah, lovely speaking to you, Amy, BJ. Nice listening to you. I'm now going to repair to the commercial lane.
Okay, enjoy.
They're calling last orders shortly.
All right, have one for me.
Well, I haven't had one all day, so I'm kind of thirsty.
Okay, enjoy.
It's been a long day. Bye, guys. Have a good night.
Bye
now.
Yeah, Bob, what I was going to share with you in September 2010, I'd been given an intent and support from an ethical bank. And then in the last month, it had been announced that they had a great big black hole of 1.5 billion. Bearing in mind that original intention had come from what was presumed to be an ethical bank. I've given up talking to banks and financial institutions. I feel compelled to inspire people to take, as you're saying, their own independence and start taking responsibility themselves for engineering a better world. Now, that particular bank is saying that huge black hole materialized by their acquisition of a building society. Now, that's true, and I believe that actually occurred, but the fundamental reason being is that the current built environment is contracting. People are struggling to pay their mortgages, they're struggling to pay for their utilities, and they're now even struggling to pay for their food.
Yeah.
So, the direction that I'm going here is trying to align people towards QU and ARC, which is a better way. That will be sustainable, will fulfill all of those things and offer them, individual as well as collective longevity.
Yeah, like I say, man, I'm not disputing that. You're a guy that is, like I say, my I don't know if it's an advantage or a disadvantage. Is I don't know. I don't know any of this stuff. I don't know. A lot of these people I've met while I've been doing this station. I've been quite privileged. Because they won't talk to me if I walk past them in the street. They won't know who I was. They don't. They won't. I'm just. Nobody knows. And I don't know who they are. So really, it's hello, who are you? All right. Oh, that sounds great. What? That just don't, to me, you see. I mean, one of the funniest ones was with Jabber. I mean, I get why you laughed, because I first met Jabber and I thought he was a DJ who wanted to come and play music, and I'm saying to him, yeah, but none of that corporate shit. All right, play your own stuff or your mates and we'll be right. And I didn't even know who he was. And I actually rang him back and you'll have to excuse me, it's been a bit hectic. And it was. But to find out that I'm going to wait until Scott's finished time.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry, man. Don't be sorry. Just don't do it again. Right? Well, I wouldn't want people to think that you're not sincere, Scott. No.
No, I think we might have another American participant.
Oh, that's cool, man. I kind of stopped looking at it. What I think's brilliant about it is that we get a reaction of people. They are coming on and they are going off, and and we've been here such a short time, such a short space of time, Scott. I'm so proud. I said it the other day. I was pretty much broken, mate. Yeah. That's how I looked at it. And in being broken, I think I might have had a glimpse of perfection. That it's all right. It's all right to be broken, because you're really everybody's trying to fix something. They're all trying to fix something. You see
everybody's
what I mean?
trying to fix everything every day.
Yeah. Well, once you're broken and you're not trying to fix it, wow, you can recognise the imperfection, and that makes it perfect, man. It really does. I mean, it's like, wow, look at that. Wow, it has to be imperfect. That's the perfection of it. Yeah. It's not broken. Stop trying to fix it. Just let it get on with it. Stop trying to fix it. It don't need to be fixed. We've been trying to fix it for years. And to be honest, when I was kind of in the mindset, of I've got to save it and fix it, and I've got to help these people, and we've got to give them whatever it is we were trying to do, whatever it was I was trying to do. When I was on a mission, I didn't get it. I just didn't get it. I never recognised it. I never recognised that was me working through perfection itself. I was finding the flaws, you see, the faults, the pitfalls. No, the perfections. You see, the imperfections, the flaws. The majority of our lives we spend here, man, they're perfect. For us here in the West, they're perfect. You know what I mean? You'll never know what it is to be hungry. You'll never know what it is to be without a home. You'll have water and food and shelter. And the worst scenario is, I mean, I've woke up on the street, Scott, because somebody's been pissing on me.
Seriously?
Yeah, man. I mean, when you've come from there, you're like, what? What is it that is it what I'm trying to do? What am I trying to... Me! At the end of the day, it's about my individual experience here and how I react to that experience. Now, that's what it is for me. I know there's I want to be part of this bigger thing. Do you know the bigger thing that's going on? I really do. But am I not part of it already? How do I become part of something I'm part of already? How do you create the group Q and Arc when you're already in the Q and Arc? And you are that. You see, to me, we're trying to achieve what we've already achieved. You know, if we could just take a few deep breaths, sit back, and I mean, it'd take some kind of, like you say, so, oh, we're going to have to get people together all over the world in different countries. And, no, hang on a minute. Can't we just do it? The few of us that remain, can't we just do it? Do we have to wait for everybody else? Do we have to wait? Why are we waiting for? I've asked myself loads of times, what is the problem? I'm the problem. I can't see it. It's me. It was me all along. You know, if I change my outlook, I can do that. Drop of an hat. Quicker. You know, quicker than a Scotsman can catch a 50p. Right? Do you know what I mean?
Matt. Matt is there.
Yeah, Matt came in and...
He came in and he's gone again. I added him a couple of times.
I think Bob have to add him. If you change the way you look at things you look at change.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
That's not LSD.
Well, I think a lot of it is just about focus.
BJ said this is not LSD.
I think it's just focus, guys, you know, a lot of the time. People find it difficult to focus on what they're actually doing. The minds get pulled off. I mean...
I think you need to add Matt. He's saying he can't use the link, or...
Well, he doesn't need to be added.
Oh, here he comes now.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go.
Hello.
Hey, Matt.
Hey, how you doing, guys? Let me mute my...
Da-da. Da-da.
Da-da. Da-da.
So are we having fun yet, gentlemen?
We've all been waiting for you, Matt. You know, I mean, Scott told us you were very punctual and you'd be here at 10 o'clock. Don't mean to put you on the spot or anything, you know.
So what's going on, gentlemen?
And Matt, I kind of sent you something earlier in the week for an evaluation. He's gone again.
Not sure Matt can hear us, I think.
He's doing his ninja.
I'm right here.
Can you hear us? I don't think so.
I'm right here, guys.
Yes, we know you're there, Matt. I'm pretty certain he cannot hear us now. I think he's turned his radio off and maybe he's getting us on a delay, which will be about 15 seconds. There you go.
Hello?
Hello.
I'm here, man. I can hear you.
He's going 3 times around the world before we can hear him. This is NSA.
Still in the forest.
Live from America. Yeah, we cannot hear Matt.
No.
We still have 15 minutes to go, or 10 minutes.
Oh, you can have as little as long as you like, guys, you know. That's up to you. I didn't want to kind of run us down this too far down a rabbit hole. Like I say, my brain's wired up differently, I think, to most people, and that's like for a long time that's been a pitfall. It has. It's been a problem. It's been an issue, and now it isn't. Now it isn't. You know, I'm not trying to work it out. I'm not trying to control it. I don't know where it's going to go. And through that, now, I'm personally facing one of the biggest adventures in my life so far. Oh, I mean, people are saying it is, you know, well, does it work? Is it real? The illusion in the delusion, if that's where we are. And have as best time as you can. As Bill Hicks said, it's a ride. It is just a ride. And you don't have to keep going round and round and round on the merry-go-round. If you're not happy with it, jump off. You know, if you are happy.
Good day, gentlemen.
Hello, are you back, Matt?
Yes, I am.
Hey,
I'm sorry. Skype on my phone is iffy at best.
Yeah, we do have a Mumble server. You can actually use Mumble if you're aware of Mumble. That's an alternative.
Mumble server, I love it.
Yeah, it's an alternative. Oh, there's one called Trumbull, I think, as well, and there's a couple of them.
Even no mobile phone now. I have to check out the links.
Yeah. Apparently, there's 2 available for mobile. I haven't tried them myself, but yeah, Mumble works well on mobile. I think it may have been Rabbit,
Matt,
the chat room, who first came in using his phone. So yes, it definitely does work.
he's dropped out again.
Yeah, he's having great difficulty with his connection.
Yeah, I mean, all I was trying to get Matt to say is that little box of tricks that I sent to you for evaluation. What did you think? And we may actually get that out of him before the 13 minutes is up.
So is it a secret box, this? Because I know Lee put in text, he was quite interested in what you were referring to, our Lee in Spain.
Yeah, it's very secretive at this stage.
This is not really the radio station to be talking. We don't really do secrets. We kind of record everything and then we put it out live, and people think it's not recording, they think it's a joke and blah blah blah, and then there's repercussions. That's it. You won't believe it. You won't believe it.
This is the real secret society.
Yeah, the secret is there are no secrets. Rule number 1, there are no rules. There is actually a rule number 2 to only be opened in emergencies. Yeah. So yeah, we're not really good at secrets. I kind of got it a while ago from the prior notice of intention that it needed to be put in a public forum, but their forums lie, so we needed to put it in a public forum, and so yeah, for a long time we've been telling people what we're going to do, and they go, oh right. And most of them think we're not going to do what we say we're going to do, because that's what most people do. They just talk about it. So then we actually do what we say we're going to do, and then they say that we've been irresponsible for doing what we've actually done because they didn't do what we did, and their lack of inaction has created the opportunity for our so-called irresponsible action. So yeah, and the cycle goes on. But you must always inform them prior to the event, not after the event. Otherwise, you know what? You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know all the information. And how could we actually agree to do something if information that, we didn't know at the beginning?
I mean, there was something quite evident from last week's experiences, because there was a whole sort of paradigm shift within a 3-4 day period, yeah? The underlying root of all evil is money, though. And it's quite amazing.
When did money actually cast an evil, cursed spell on someone? Or, money gangs up with coins and notes and beats up old lady on street corner. I've heard this so many times, man. Let's point the finger at evil at a piece of paper made out of tree sap and bark. And some... What? Okay. Credit cards are the root of all plastic. Come on. It's something like tricky word game, isn't it? What is the root of all evil? I'll tell you what the root of all evil is. Matt's Skype connection. Have you done it, Matt? Are you there? Matt, are you there? Someone was rooting out the evil here. You can do it, Matt. Come on. No, he can't. He's there. He is connecting, but it's just not. So yeah.
It must be the NSA again, as you said.
On a serious note, Scott, if there are people out there that haven't got a good connection to the internet, please look at the Mumble. Look at Mumble. Mm-hmm. Just type it in. We're using Mumble 1.2.3.2, version 1.2.3.2. on Ubuntu. Excuse me, I've got to read that on real small text on the server. And it is an alternative, and we will be moving over to that fully eventually. And if people can't actually work it out, we'll leave them talking to themselves on Skype. Because the server is actually listening to you in the room on Mumble. It's connecting to Skype for your benefits, not for mine or for Jabba or for Sparky. We can all connect directly into the Mumble server and speak directly on open source. So you're right in a sense where you mentioned earlier about reaching out to others. Of course, we haven't reached out to others. We're still making the Skype available because we do get that people do need a bit of time to wean themselves off the corporate control system with its big numbers and its fancy flashing lights. And
I think we have Matt back again.
I'm not going to be 100% convinced of that. Have we managed to root out all evil?
No,
he's just going to have to get Mumble. See, there you go.
Yeah, but that is a limited option on Skype. You cannot have the people from America plus the NSA on Skype chat at the same time. NSA is always priority. Sorry, guys.
So what do you think happened to this this guy then on the plane? Is he in an airport? Is he on the Venezuelan president's plane, or has he maybe gone to Butlins on holiday?
The last news was that he was in a holding in a Russian airport. Can't remember.
Right.
Pax Mundi covered it between 7 and 8 today. He did mention it quite a lot. The fact that many of these countries now are just acting under the will of the United States. The United States says, right, restrict that plane air travel. What? And yeah, I didn't get all of it, although I was here at the time. A lot of information to go in. And I get to listen to it all again when I edit it anyway.
Sean Ross did say something about Snowden yesterday. That there's what is full name? Edward Snowden is a code word for war now. Do it now. We are ready now, or something like that. I think also Snowden is very much a snow in our eyes. What is really going on? It's like when they're showing so much the right hand. Look what the left hand is doing. But Scott, about your project, I think we're gonna talk another time. And I'm looking forward to hear more about what and how it's going on.
Look, Jabba, it's pretty awesome what's gone on in the last month in particular. The conversation with the producer and director that, following my daily events with the camera, I think is a good idea. And broadcasting them on a daily basis is probably an even better idea, It certainly will be very entertaining for people to kind of watch that process,
Yeah. Looking forward to that?
With trepidation, because if the producer and director is as compelling as he led me to believe during the conference call, we're talking some pretty Oliver Stone type moments occurring,
Yeah. Will he film your mom? Will he interview your mom?
Listen, Jabba, that's like getting
that we always say that when we are coming to the end.
Because it's too late for me to get a plane and come across there because it's close to midnight. Can you believe that, Bob? They always bring my mother into the conversation.
It's not too close for me. If you're listening, Scott's mum, ring in. Let's chat.
Yes.
never gonna try your mom's telephone number.
BJ.
I'm
Listen,
really interested.
BJ, don't you start getting involved either.
I'm really interested in what Scott's actually at, but it's just so secretive, and he can't tell me because he knows I'll just blab.
No,
What's
but
that?
I'll blab. So I really would like to find out eventually. You know, when it's kind of when I can blab about it. So
Well, that's a shame. Matt's had connection problems again. It's.
But soon he will use Mumble, and then we will be connected. It use very less bandwidth, and the sound is very much better than Skype even.
Yeah, the fact that his telephone's trying to connect with video doesn't help really. But
Well, I think if anything out of Independence Day and engineering a better world, we should have actually played the tune "Walk Like an Egyptian" on the way out of tonight's show.
Yeah, you reckon?
You can sing it if you want, but like
no, Jabba, you're the musician, you're the singer. We'll allow you to do that for us. Can you remember the lyrics?
No, I have no clue, and like Bobby said, we don't use corporations on our.
No, we don't. No. Can I ask you one question, though, Scott? Just before we close, have you ever looked into the eyes of David Icke?
No, not without going to Specsavers first.
Did you see the reptilian? Is that what you asked, Bob?
No, not at all. not at all. I really respect David's stage hypnotic capabilities. I think he's an absolute master at his work. I really do. I respect him for that. I really do. And without people like David, I mean, we'd never have this position. We'd never be. I mean, people like David and Alex, they've created a massive chink in the armour for what people consider us, what they considered us to be, just another alternative stream to the corporate media. I have took such great pleasure in being a thorn in their side for as long as we have. It's great fun. Of course, nobody's getting hurt, nobody's getting harmed, and we're not damaging anybody. So yeah, I think that's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. If there is a good and bad thing in this world, as we touched on earlier, you know. But yeah, fair play to you, Scott. Like I say, to me, you're a man who's trying to get his hands on the tools to make it a better place for everyone. You know, and I think a lot of the time it's about not so much what we've got to do, but what we've got to stop doing first.
Oh, look, Bob, it was almost like Thursday of last week was an epiphany. It's almost like the heavens opened up and something was put on my lap. But again, in a process of an evaluation, how many other people would have probably reacted the way that I'd reacted, where there was potentially a huge money-making opportunity that would have been detrimental to our ecology and environment, and I kind of stopped in my tracks. What I will say is there are other entities and people still running full steam ahead with that scenario, but hey-ho.
We're lucky there, man, because we piss everybody off, right? Nobody, we're going to have to do it ourselves, because what we're doing is, it does. The things we are actually trying to implement they really do piss them off. It's the best analogy I can put. The petrochemical industries don't like it. The pharmaceutical industries don't like it. The merchants and the bankers and the corporate bodies don't like it. God, I'm so proud of you all.
Somebody said something to me very recently, and I think it's starting to materialize as each day is passing. The barbarians are coming.
The gladiators.
Yeah. Look.
All are worthy without judgment.
What goes around
was the cry of the barbarian.
What goes around comes around.
Judgment.
And it's coming around,
For those caught in a linear cycle, you would be right. They'd go round and round and round from today to tomorrow, and it would never arrive.
Well, all I want to know is somebody had shared something with me. You know the taxi driver guy from London, Bob?
Yeah. I'm just trying to think which one you might mean.
Stop it!
The one that the angry guy.
Stop it! Stop doing that! Stop it! Stop! Just stop it! Stop doing that!
You mean that percent gentleman?
Well, rumour has it that he's appearing on Question Time. That'll be quite entertaining.
Well, look, you've done it again. You can't tell me things like that. I'll go blabbing it everywhere, and then the police come in and they won't let him in, and then the secret will be out of the bag. You come and tell me when it's safe. Don't tell me beforehand. You know what I mean? We'll have to
right, guys. The midnight hour has approached.
Oh, as your Gregorian number catcher got you, Scott.
So, without any further ado, it's been a pleasure as always.
Thank you, Scott.
Yeah, thank you, Scott.
BJ, you've been very quiet tonight. What is it? The tomatoes?
A bit tired, actually. A bit tired.
Has Jabba been working you too hard again?
It was Jabba's birthday yesterday, you know.
Shut up. It's not true.
I'd just like to add, the artist taxi driver would never stoop so low to be appeared on the BBC. That's only my personal opinion.
As the two Ronnies used to say, it's good night from him.
Are you going, Scott? Good night, mate.
Thank you.
And it's good night from me.
Good night.
Yeah.
Scott. Thanks again, bro.
Building an arc,
guys.
QAnon and Darkcity Radio. Thanks, guys.
Cheers. Bye.
Right.
Bye.
Good night to Mummy as well.
Are we done? Have you finished, Jabba? Shall I just... Excuse me, I'm coughing here live on air. Excuse me, listeners. I normally mute.
Yes, we are off.
There we go. Good night, everyone. We're off.
Hello and welcome to the Truth Movement Hotline. Press 1 for doom porn. Press 2 for disinformation. Press 3 to suck Satan's cock by monetizing your YouTube videos. Press 4 for direct contact with an agent of the Matrix. Press 5 for alternative media to restrict the cure for cancer. Press 6 to free yourself from the system by writing a letter to the Queen of England. Press 7 to hold an official organized protest. Or press 8 to blame someone other than your own stupid self for the mess this planet is in. Alternatively, tune into Darkcity Radio at darkcityradio.co.uk or voice your opinions live on air by calling 0161 298 0298 if you live in the UK, or if you are calling from outside the UK, the number is +44 161 298 0298 or Skype us at Bob's Backyard. This call has been recorded for trading purposes. We have also tracked your IP address, and we have dispatched 2 agents of the Matrix. They will be with you shortly. Thank you for your cooperation. Have a nice day.